The Galactic Council's mockery. The massive, glittering council chamber was filled with a sense of superiority. Representatives from countless alien species gathered around the long, circular table, their faces set in expressions of disdain. At the head of the table, a towering being from the Centauri species, long known for its wisdom and strength, spoke with authority. "We are the rulers of the galaxy," the Centauri leader said, his voice echoing through the room. "And there is one species that continues to cause us trouble, despite their insignificance: humanity." A ripple of laughter spread through the room. The council members, from the towering Lorcans to the small, yet fearsome, Kargrun warriors, all shared a similar sentiment. They viewed humans as nothing more than a nuisance, a species that, despite their quick rise on Earth, had not proven themselves on the galactic stage. One by one, the council members spoke, mocking Earth's primitive technologies. "They can barely leave their own planet without messing things up," the Vrakian ambassador sneered. "How could they ever pose a threat to us?" The Kargran warrior let out a low growl of amusement. "Their weapons are primitive. Their ships are nothing compared to the power we wield. We should focus on more important matters." The Centauri leader nodded gravely, his expression one of calculated confidence. "We've kept an eye on them, of course, but they are still far behind. Our intelligence reports confirm they have no real fleet, no advanced technology capable of challenging us." "Then why bother?" The Zergan diplomat, a being of floating tendrils and shifting colors, asked. "Their world is hardly worth our time. Let them destroy themselves. They'll be gone soon enough." The room filled with laughter again, each member of the council finding humor in the thought of a small, insignificant planet like Earth posing any kind of challenge to the might of the Galactic Council. What they didn't know, however, was that far beyond their view, hidden in the depths of Earth's oceans and under the crust of mountains, something was stirring. On Earth, the leaders of humanity were not as careless as they appeared. For centuries, they had secretly been preparing. They had studied the stars, learning from the mistakes of past empires. Beneath the surface, they had constructed warships so advanced that the Galactic Council would never imagine they existed. These ships were designed to be invisible to even the most sophisticated scanners, buried deep to avoid detection. As the Galactic Council mocked humanity, Earth's leaders watched from their control rooms, their expressions unreadable. They had been planning, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology alone. It was their resilience, their adaptability, and their sheer willpower. The Galactic Council had underestimated them for far too long. But what the Council didn't realize was that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't the ships hidden on Earth, it was the people themselves. The warriors, the scientists, the leaders, and the citizens who had built this fleet in secret. They were ready. Back in the council chamber, the mockery continued. "What are we waiting for?" the Zergan diplomat said, dismissing Earth's efforts as irrelevant. "Let them be our entertainment for the next few centuries. They will never rise to challenge us." The Centauri leader's eyes narrowed. "Indeed, we have more important matters to address. Let's focus on expanding our influence. Humanity is insignificant. They are a fleeting problem." The Vrakian ambassador raised a hand. "I propose we issue a formal statement to remind Earth of their place, perhaps a reminder of the power we hold. A small warning." The Kargran warrior smiled cruelly. "A reminder, indeed. We can show them just how outclassed they truly are." The council agreed, their arrogance blinding them to the truth. They had no idea that the signal Earth had just sent would soon alter the course of the galaxy forever. As the meeting drew to a close, the members of the Galactic Council stood, their voices filled with self-satisfaction. They had decided humanity's fate in their minds. Earth was nothing more than a blip in the vastness of the universe, a small, irrelevant species. But as the council members left the chamber, none of them noticed the faintest tremor in the fabric of space itself, a ripple caused by the secret force now rising from the depths of Earth. In a hidden control room on Earth, a single figure pressed a button. The signal had been sent. The countdown had begun. The Galactic Council's mistake was about to become their downfall, and they would never see it coming. The hidden fleet awakens. The galaxy's greatest powers had no idea what was coming. On Earth, the final preparations had been made, and humanity was ready to show its true strength. Deep under the surface of Earth's oceans, in the darkest trenches and forgotten caves, colossal ships lay dormant. They had been built in secret, buried from the prying eyes of the galaxy. Massive warships, designed with technology far ahead of what anyone could imagine, were waiting for the moment to strike. These ships were hidden from every sensor, every scan, every probe sent by the Galactic Council. Earth had outsmarted the galaxy, hiding in plain sight. At first, everything seemed quiet. The Galactic Council had issued their warning, confident that their superior power would silence humanity's defiance. But on Earth, the situation was far different. A hidden network of humans, the protectors of Earth's greatest secret, were working tirelessly, preparing for the day they would reveal the truth. In a dark, high-security control room, surrounded by holographic displays and a constant flow of data, General Aisha Park watched as the countdown neared its final moments. Her hands hovered over the control panel, each second feeling heavier than the last. "We've waited for this moment for years," she said, her voice steady but filled with anticipation. Her team, standing at attention, nodded silently. They knew what was at stake. They had built this fleet, and now it was time to unleash it. The signal from the Council had been received hours ago, and now it was humanity's turn to respond. A single press of the button would activate the long-hidden fleet, ships that could not be detected, ships that were thought to be nothing more than legends. These ships had been built not with alien materials, but with Earth's finest engineering, combining human ingenuity and design with cutting-edge technology. In the deep ocean trenches, the massive warships began to stir. These colossal vessels had been lying in wait for centuries, silently waiting for the command to rise. Ancient launch systems, powered by Earth's own energy sources, hummed to life. Slowly, as if awakening from a long slumber, the ships began to ascend. Meanwhile, in the skies above Earth, the first signs of activity went unnoticed. The Galactic Council had no reason to suspect anything. Earth's signals were minimal, its fleet non-existent. At least, that's what they believed. They hadn't seen anything unusual for decades. Humanity was, in their eyes, still a joke. But now, the joke was on them. As the first of Earth's warships breached the surface of the oceans, the shockwaves were felt miles away. The ships were enormous, their sleek, black surfaces shimmering with an eerie glow. They were designed not only to strike fear into their enemies, but to be invisible to the advanced scanners the Galactic Empire used. They were ghosts, silent and deadly. General Park's eyes narrowed as the countdown reached 0. With a calm and calculated motion, she pressed the button. The fleet, now fully awake and ready, responded. One by one, the ships rose from their hidden positions, their massive forms breaking the surface of the oceans in an awe-inspiring display of power. The world's leaders watched in stunned silence as the ships moved into position, their engines firing up for the first time in centuries. But it wasn't just the ships that were ready. Humanity's armies, its fleets, and its most brilliant minds had been preparing for this very moment. Earth was not going to wait for the Galactic Council to come and destroy them. Instead, they would take the fight to the stars. Back in the Galactic Council chambers, no one noticed the first signs of the attack. They were still debating how to deal with Earth's insignificant little problem. They were convinced that humanity was no threat, that their fleet was a fantasy. But in the dark corners of the galaxy, the tide was turning. The first of Earth's ships, moving faster than anyone could imagine, shot through the upper atmosphere, leaving behind a trail of smoke. The ships were not alone. As they moved out of Earth's orbit, their cloaking technology activated, rendering them invisible to all scanners. The fleet was now a phantom force in the galaxy, invisible, yet deadly. General Park's voice came over the comms, calm and steady. All ships, prepare for Phase 2. We strike first, and we strike hard. The galaxy will know that humanity is not to be underestimated. As Earth's fleet silently moved through the stars, the Galactic Council's arrogance was still in full force. They had no idea that the forces they had laughed off for so long were now ready to teach them a lesson they would never forget. Humanity had waited for this moment, and it was time to show the galaxy that they were not the weak, insignificant species the Council had thought they were. The hidden fleet had awoken, and the Galactic Council's fatal mistake would soon come back to haunt them. As Earth's warships drifted deeper into the galaxy, silently awaiting their next move, General Park felt a surge of confidence. "This is only the beginning," she whispered to herself. "They will never see us coming." First strike. The stars outside Earth's orbit glittered like a sea of diamonds, peaceful and untouched. Yet, hidden among them, Earth's fleet, once thought to be a mere myth, moved in silence, an unstoppable force that was about to shake the galaxy to its core. General Aisha Park stood in her command center, her eyes locked on the holographic map that displayed the positions of the ships. "Initiate the strike," she commanded, her voice steady but filled with purpose. With a single word, Earth's secret fleet was now in action. The ships had been launched with precision, their mission clear: disrupt, destroy, and send a message to the Galactic Council. They had waited for this moment for too long. Far above the surface of Earth, the warships moved in perfect formation, invisible to any scanner or radar. Their cloaking systems ensured that they remained undetected by even the most advanced galactic sensors. The Council had no idea that the tiny blue planet at the edge of the galaxy was about to become the center of a storm they couldn't avoid. The target was simple: a small but strategically significant galactic outpost on the fringes of the galaxy. The Empire had believed it to be an easy mark, a place far removed from the core systems. It was here that Earth's fleet would make their first move. The outpost was a communications hub, vital for coordinating the Galactic Empire's control over this part of the galaxy. The Galactic Council had thought it was secure, tucked away in a remote system that no one would dare challenge. But Earth's warships, hidden in plain sight, were moving with lethal precision. On the outpost, the Galactic Empire's forces were unaware of the incoming attack. They had been informed of no threats, nothing to suggest that the lowly humans could ever pose a danger. Their guards sat relaxed, sipping drinks, enjoying their downtime in the cold expanse of space. Then, everything changed in an instant. Without warning, the first wave of Earth's warships appeared. They dropped out of their cloaking mode just as they entered the outskirts of the outpost's defenses. The massive ships, with their black, sleek surfaces, seemed like shadows of death as they cut through space, moving faster than anything the Empire had ever seen. The first strike was swift. Energy beams from Earth's warships struck the outpost's defensive shields, sending them flaring up in an instant. The enemy forces scrambled, sending out alerts and messages to nearby ships. But it was too late. The damage was already done. The Galactic Empire's defenses, designed to withstand countless threats, began to collapse under the intensity of Earth's assault. The warship's firepower, far beyond anything the Council had imagined, tore through the shield generators with terrifying efficiency. The outpost's security system was overwhelmed in a matter of minutes. General Park's voice echoed through the comms, calm yet cold. "Phase 1 complete. Prepare for Phase 2. Disable their communication systems and ensure no reinforcements can arrive." The fleet moved swiftly, executing the next part of the plan. A fleet of smaller, specialized ships descended toward the outpost's communication array, their advanced hacking systems overriding every security protocol with ease. In mere seconds, the Empire's communication lines went dark. No one could send out an alert. No one could call for help. Meanwhile, the rest of the warships continued their assault, targeting key installations on the outpost. The Galactic soldiers inside the station fought back with all their might, but it was useless. The human ships were too fast, too strong, and far too deadly. With every strike, the Empire's control over the outpost slipped further away. Within minutes, the once thriving hub of the Galactic Empire was reduced to a burning wreck. The communication array, the shield generators, and the entire base, all had fallen. The Empire had been caught completely off guard, and the destruction was swift. The remaining forces scrambled to launch counterattacks, but Earth's warships had already vanished, their cloaking systems activating again as they retreated back into the darkness of space. The fleet had completed its first strike, and they were already gone before the Empire could retaliate. Back at Earth's command center, General Park stood silently, watching as the news of the attack spread across the galaxy. The Galactic Council would be forced to respond, but they had no idea who their real enemy was. The once laughable humans had just dealt a devastating blow to the Galactic Empire, and no one had seen it coming. "We've made our statement," Park said quietly, her gaze fixed on the map as she traced the path of the warships. "Now, we wait." The Galactic Council, still unaware of the force they had just provoked, would soon realize the truth. Humanity was no longer the weak species they had laughed at. Earth had struck its first blow, and the galaxy would never be the same. The stage was set. The war had begun. The Galactic Council's panic. The Galactic Council was in an uproar. News of the attack on the outpost had spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Panic and disbelief filled the council chambers as representatives from all corners of the galaxy hurriedly gathered for an emergency session. How could this happen? The Zentari leader roared, his normally calm demeanor shattered. How did these humans bypass our defenses? They don't even have the technology to challenge us. The Kargran warrior, usually stoic and cold, was visibly agitated. This is no ordinary attack. They've somehow infiltrated our most secure systems. They've disabled our communication network. Entire fleets are stranded. The Zircon diplomat, who had been a staunch believer in underestimating humanity, shifted uneasily. We laughed at them. We mocked their primitive ways. But this is more than just a few misguided ships. They've done what no one else could. The entire council room fell silent as the weight of the situation set in. The Galactic Empire, which had stood for eons, was now reeling from a single blow. The once proud empire, with its unimaginable technological advancements, had been struck at its very core by a species they thought was no more than a joke. "We need to find these humans," the Zentari leader growled, his voice full of menace. "We cannot let this stand. Our authority is being questioned, and if we don't strike back quickly, the galaxy will lose faith in us." The council agreed. Plans were drawn up to launch a counter-offensive. Massive fleets were to be dispatched, and the full might of the Empire would be used to hunt down humanity's secret fleet. The Galactic Council believed that if they could destroy Earth's ships, they could send a clear message to the galaxy. But they were unaware of how deep humanity's preparation ran. Across the galaxy, far from the Council's notice, Earth's fleet was already moving again. The attack on the outpost had been nothing more than a warning, a declaration of power, of what Earth was capable of. But the Council was too arrogant to see it. They had underestimated the humans, and now they were about to pay the price. General Park stood at the head of a massive war room, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. The Galactic Empire is scrambling. They're sending fleets to retaliate, but they won't know where we are. We've prepared for this. Her voice rang with determination. Humanity had been waiting for this moment for generations. They had prepared not only advanced ships and weapons, but a network of intelligence, surveillance, and counter-strikes that would make the Empire's retaliatory efforts futile. We will strike again, but this time, we won't wait for them to come to us. We'll take the fight to them. Let's see how the mighty Galactic Empire handles being hunted. Humanity had always been resourceful. For years, they had secretly built an underground network of warships and intelligence systems. The Empire's false sense of security had been their greatest asset. Until now. General Park's plan was simple. Each time the galactic fleets moved, Earth's ships would strike, silently and without warning. The ships that had been hidden for so long began to move into position once again. This time, the target was far more important. An entire fleet of galactic ships stationed at a critical junction in the galaxy. These ships were not only heavily armed, but also served as the backbone for the Empire's supply lines and communication. If they fell, it would send shockwaves across the galaxy. Earth's warships, once again invisible and swift, moved through the galaxy at incredible speed, using the same cloaking technology that had allowed them to go undetected in the first place. The galactic fleets were in disarray, unable to track or predict the movements of Earth's ships. They were playing a dangerous game, but humanity was no longer the pawn. General Park gave the order. Phase 2. Disable their fleet. Do not engage until we have neutralized their communications. The human ships once again struck with surgical precision. The first wave of attacks began by targeting the Empire's communication systems. In mere moments, the galactic fleets found themselves cut off, unable to coordinate any kind of defense. As soon as the Empire's ships lost contact with their command center, Earth's warships sprang into action. The Empire's fleets were now stranded, their positions revealed, and their responses delayed. It was chaos. The human fleet, hidden in the shadows, moved quickly, taking down key targets one by one. The warship's stealth technology kept them out of sight, making it nearly impossible for the Empire to retaliate. In less than an hour, the once proud fleets of the Galactic Empire were disabled, their crews in confusion. Back on Earth, General Park stood before the control panel, her heart pounding with excitement. We've struck a blow, and the Empire can't even retaliate. They're vulnerable. But even as she spoke, she knew that this was only the beginning. The Galactic Council would not sit idly by. They would retaliate with everything they had. But humanity had a plan, and it was one the Empire could never predict. General Park's expression hardened. Let them send their fleets. They'll learn soon enough that we're not just a threat. We are their end. The stage was set for an all-out war. The Galactic Council had made its decision. Earth had to be destroyed. But humanity had already set its wheels in motion. The fight was only beginning. And this time, the Council would find that underestimating humanity would be their greatest mistake. The Empire strikes back. A fateful encounter. The Galactic Council was in turmoil. The first two strikes had crippled their forces, and the galaxy's vast network of systems and fleets was descending into chaos. The Council, once confident in their ability to control every star system, was now struggling to maintain even a semblance of order. They knew that they had underestimated humanity, and the consequences were grave. On the front lines, the Council's military commanders were finally ready to retaliate. After months of careful planning, a massive fleet was assembled, larger than any force humanity had ever seen. This fleet was their pride. 1,000 warships, including massive dreadnoughts, ready to crush Earth's hidden fleet once and for all. This would be the decisive blow. But they had not yet realized how far humanity's reach had expanded. Meanwhile, far from the Council's reach, General Aisha Park stood in the shadows of Earth's underground command center, her hands gripping the edge of the control panel. The lights in the room flickered as data poured in from every corner of the galaxy. Humanity had struck hard, but the Council was about to retaliate with everything it had. Park knew that the Galactic Empire was not to be underestimated. They had vast resources, and their fleet, while slow, was more powerful than any force Earth had faced before. This would be the ultimate test of Earth's resolve. "We need to move fast," Park muttered, turning to her crew. "If we don't act now, we might not get another chance." The warships that had been hiding in the shadows for so long now stood ready, each ship equipped with the most advanced stealth systems and weaponry. But Park was well aware that the Empire's vast fleet was fast approaching. Time was running out. "Prepare the decoy," Park ordered, her voice low but resolute. "We can't defeat them head-on, but we can make them think we're everywhere." The plan was simple. The human fleet, while powerful, was still smaller in number. But the technology behind Earth's warships gave them an advantage: stealth, speed, and intelligence. Park's strategy was to make the Empire think they were being attacked from all sides. Using holographic decoys and the latest in cloaking technology, Earth's fleet would create the illusion of a full-scale assault. As the Galactic fleet approached, the first signs of the decoy plan unfolded. The massive Empire ships moved into a formation, expecting to see Earth's warships preparing for battle. Instead, all they saw were empty starfields. But the fleet was already in motion. Earth's warships, hidden beneath their cloaks, silently entered the battlefield, surrounding the Empire's fleet in the dark expanse of space. One by one, they began striking the Galactic ships from unexpected angles, sending shockwaves through the massive fleet. It didn't take long for the first of the Empire's dreadnoughts to fall. A barrage of energy blasts from an Earth warship tore through its defenses, disabling the massive vessel in an instant. The Empire's fleet, thrown into confusion, began to scatter. "Now," General Park ordered, "initiate Phase 3. Take out their command ship." The Empire's command ship, the heart of their fleet, loomed at the center of the formation. It was heavily shielded and heavily armed, but General Park knew that if it fell, the entire fleet would collapse. With deadly precision, Earth's warships advanced toward the command ship, cloaking and uncloaking in quick succession. The Empire's ships, confused by the sudden attacks, tried desperately to target the invisible warships. But it was too late. In a series of well-coordinated attacks, the human fleet unleashed a devastating barrage on the Empire's command ship. It shuddered under the onslaught, its shields flickering before it finally collapsing. Within minutes, the massive ship was engulfed in flames, its engines exploding in a catastrophic blaze. The sight was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The Empire's flagship had fallen, and with it, the heart of the fleet. The Galactic Council's reaction was immediate. They sent out desperate calls for reinforcements, but it was clear that they were no longer in control. The once unshakable Empire was now in chaos. In the midst of the confusion, General Park's voice cut through the comms. "This is just the beginning. We've made our point. The Galactic Council will now know that we are not their prey." The remaining Empire ships, now leaderless and scattered, were easy pickings for Earth's fleet. One by one, they were disabled, their shields no match for the precision and power of humanity's warships. What had started as a small-scale attack had turned into a full-blown victory. Humanity had struck the Galactic Empire at its core, and the shockwaves were felt across the galaxy. Back at Earth's command center, General Park allowed herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. "We've proven ourselves," she said softly. "The Empire won't forget this." But even as she spoke, she knew that the fight was far from over. The Galactic Council would not back down easily, and their forces would regroup. But for now, humanity had sent a message. They were no longer the joke, no longer the weaklings on the edge of the galaxy. Earth had fought back, and won. The Galactic Empire, so sure of its dominance, had underestimated humanity. Now they would face the consequences, and Earth's warships would be waiting in the shadows, ready to strike again. The Empire's retaliation, a dangerous gambit. The Galactic Council had underestimated humanity for far too long. Their arrogance, their belief in their unassailable dominance, had cost them dearly. Earth's warships had destroyed their command ship and shattered their fleet, but now the Galactic Empire was preparing to strike back with a fury unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The council chamber was a scene of intense deliberation. For the first time in centuries, the Empire's leaders found themselves questioning their own power, but their resolve quickly hardened. The humiliation of losing their flagship and fleet could not stand. The message from Earth was clear. Humanity would not be a victim. We must retaliate with everything we have. The Centauri leader growled, his anger palpable. We've given them a chance to show their strength, and now we must show them ours. Earth must be made an example. The Council's decision was swift and brutal. An entire fleet of warships, larger than any before, was quickly assembled. The Empire had built secret weapons in the wake of their earlier defeat, new, powerful dreadnoughts, enhanced shields, and advanced weaponry designed specifically to crush Earth's warships. This time, they would not fall into the same trap. But even as the Empire prepared for its counterattack, General Aisha Park knew this battle would be different. Earth's victory had sent shockwaves across the galaxy, but the Council would not let such a blow go unanswered. The next phase of the war would test every ounce of humanity's strength and resolve. We've made them angry, Park muttered to herself, staring at the galaxy map in front of her. But we've also made them fearful. Fear is a weapon, and we'll use it to our advantage. The secret fleet, hidden for years and ready for moments just like this, was ready to move again. But this time, the stakes were higher. The Galactic Empire would come in full force, and Earth's fleet would have to fight with everything they had to survive. They couldn't afford to make any mistakes. General Park stood in front of her command team, her voice calm and steady despite the chaos that was unfolding across the galaxy. We don't need to win every battle. We need to make them feel our presence. We need to make them second-guess every move they make. Park's plan was to strike where the Empire would least expect it. They knew the Empire was preparing for an all-out assault, but Earth's fleet would avoid a direct confrontation. Instead, they would create a web of distractions, terrorizing the Empire's supply lines and disrupting their communications. They would keep the Empire off balance, unsure of where the next blow would fall. Phase 4 begins now, General Park said, her voice resolute. We'll strike the heart of their supply network. They may have new ships, but they still need fuel, weapons, and resources. Without them, they're nothing. The first targets were the Empire's mining colonies, essential for maintaining their war efforts. Earth's warships descended on these colonies like ghosts, attacking without warning and vanishing into the darkness of space before the Empire could react. Supplies were stolen, production lines destroyed, and resources diverted. At the same time, Earth's ships launched cyberattacks on the Empire's communication networks. The Empire's fleets, still recovering from their previous defeat, were now crippled by a breakdown in their command structure. Orders were lost, and ships were left stranded, unable to respond to the shifting tides of battle. Back on Earth, General Park's eyes were glued to the live feeds, watching as Earth's ships carried out their attacks. The strikes were swift, precise, and devastating. Every move they made was designed to frustrate and confuse the Empire. But even as Earth's forces enjoyed this moment of success, General Park knew the Empire was not finished yet. They were angry, desperate, and willing to take risks they had never considered before. Their retaliation will be fierce, Park warned her team. They'll come at us with everything. It's only a matter of time before we face their full strength. She was right. Just days later, the Empire launched its response. A massive fleet, bigger than anything humanity had encountered, arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. This time, the Empire wasn't playing games. They had brought out their most advanced warships, some capable of firing energy blasts that could shatter entire planets. "We'll hold the line," Park said, her voice filled with unshakable determination. "This is where we make our stand." As Earth's fleet prepared for what could be their final battle, the tension in the command room was palpable. The Empire's ships were closing in fast, and the human warships had no intention of backing down. The battle that was about to unfold would be like no other. Earth's fleet would fight for their survival, for their future, and for the message they had already sent to the galaxy. Humanity had proven its strength once. Now, they would show the Empire just how far they were willing to go to defend it. As the massive Imperial fleet drew closer, General Park looked out at the stars, her eyes steady. This is just the beginning. The galaxy won't be the same after today. The final confrontation, Earth's triumph. The final battle had arrived. The Galactic Empire's fleet, now fully mobilized, loomed on the horizon like a tidal wave of destruction. There were no more tricks, no more shadows for Earth's fleet to hide in. What remained was the raw power of humanity's warships, pitted against the full fury of the Empire's might. General Aisha Park stood at the heart of the command center, her eyes scanning the galaxy map. Every human vessel, every fighter, and every warship was in position. The stakes couldn't be higher. If they failed here, Earth would fall. But Park wasn't concerned about failure. She was focused on victory. The Empire had come to Earth, determined to crush the human rebellion once and for all. And now, Earth's fleet was ready to show them that they had made a grave mistake underestimating humanity's resolve. "We hold nothing back," General Park said, her voice calm yet filled with the intensity of someone who had witnessed the chaos and destruction of war. "The Empire thinks they can break us. They are wrong." The two fleets, Earth's hidden warships and the Empire's overwhelming armada, faced each other in the silence of space. The air was thick with tension. On one side, Earth's ships waited, poised to strike with deadly precision. On the other, the Empire's fleet, massive and imposing, prepared to unleash its devastating firepower. The first shots were fired, and instantly the battle erupted into a storm of energy blasts and missiles. The Empire's warships, with their enormous weapons, began to barrage Earth's fleet. But humanity had learned from their past mistakes. They had anticipated this moment. Earth's warships darted and weaved, evading the Empire's attacks with expert precision, exploiting the weaknesses in the Empire's formation. But the Empire was not so easily defeated. With every strike, they grew more relentless, pushing forward with everything they had. The battle was fierce, and Earth's fleet was taking heavy fire. Several warships were struck, their shields flickering, and some were damaged beyond repair. Yet, humanity's fleet never faltered. "Stay with it," General Park shouted over the comms. "We've trained for this moment. Trust your systems. Trust your crew." One by one, Earth's ships began to strike back. Coordinated assaults hit the heart of the Empire's formation. Stealthy warships attacked from unexpected angles, while powerful energy blasts from Earth's flagship tore through the Empire's defenses. The Empire's fleet, despite its size and strength, could not match the speed and agility of humanity's ships. But then, as if to prove their resolve, the Empire deployed their secret weapon. An enormous superweapon capable of wiping out entire fleets in one shot. A massive glowing beam of energy pulsed from one of the Empire's dreadnoughts, aimed directly at Earth's flagship. General Park watched, her heart pounding, as the beam charged up. There was no way to avoid it. If that beam hit, Earth would lose their best chance of winning. It was the turning point in the battle. "This is it," Park whispered, her voice low, as her hand hovered over the controls. "We either win this, or we lose everything." With a surge of determination, she gave the order. The flagship's engines roared to life, and the ship suddenly veered away, narrowly avoiding the devastating beam. The blast struck another Earth warship instead, tearing it apart in a violent explosion. But Park's flagship had escaped, and with it, humanity's hope. Taking advantage of the distraction, Earth's fleet launched their final assault. The remaining warships, now fully focused, combined their firepower to destroy the Empire's superweapon. It didn't take long for the weapon to collapse under the concentrated blasts. It was gone. "Push them back," General Park ordered, her voice a battle cry over the comms. With their weapon destroyed and their flagship down, the Empire's fleet began to unravel. Their command structure was in disarray, and their ships, once a symbol of unrivaled power, were now a tangled mess of burning wrecks. The remaining Empire vessels fought valiantly, but without coordination, they were doomed. As the last of the Empire's fleet fell silent, General Park stood tall, her gaze unwavering. Earth's warships had prevailed, and the Galactic Empire had been defeated. It had been a hard-fought victory, but humanity had triumphed against all odds. "We've done it," Park said, her voice filled with both relief and triumph. "The galaxy will never forget what we've done here." With the fall of the Empire's fleet, the Galactic Council's grip on the galaxy shattered. Earth was no longer a weak, insignificant planet on the edge of the galaxy. It had shown the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with, a force that would no longer bow to anyone. As Earth's fleet returned home, General Park looked out at the stars, knowing this victory would mark the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy's history. The Galactic Empire had fallen, and humanity had proven that they could not be ignored, not defeated, and certainly not controlled. "We may be small," General Park whispered, "but we will never be weak again."